coming up. This is the type of news we have in our stack. From being called kooks just a few years ago to now, question a doctor, lose your child, Times of London, same thing happening in the United States. If your daughter dies or gets paralyzed from the Gardasil shot, even though they admit it's killing and paralyzing people, the CPS then comes and takes your other children. That's what they were told. Labor's secret plan to send overweight children to NHS fat camps, taking your kids to raise them in the dormitories. UN wants new global currency to replace dollar. London Telegraph, open announcement. We told you this. This is what Fall of the Republic, my new film coming out October 21st, is all about. See, global currency, world government, the very bankers that engineered the Ponzi scheme setting this up. Eco nanny state. Nancy Pelosi, every aspect of our lives will be subjected to an inventory. Remember that? France molds CO2 taxes on citizens. A bunch of other European countries, Germany's environment minister says, you will pay a carbon tax on everything you do. A national ID card will be used to track everything you do. I told you that a decade ago because Club of Rome said it. German government advisor, again, proposes personal CO2 budget for everyone on planet. Michael Moore says capitalism is evil, says new Michael Moore film, a guy that's worth $400 million. See, the big banks are the monopoly men. They want socialism and communism for you. They take your wealth, then suck it offshore. That is just some of what's coming up today. Again, you just heard the live, first time, aired here live on the radio. We just played that interview I did with Charlie Sheen. Live interviews with him actually on via the phone coming up in the next few days. More of the taped interviews, the videotape interviews, that's all coming up. But I wanted to bring people back because I got a bunch of emails this morning saying, Charlie Sheen didn't write this letter. You don't know Charlie Sheen. People forget that he went public for 9/11 Truth on this show 3 years ago in 2006. And he was at the big C-SPAN event we did in L.A. and spoke on stage. So, yes, Charlie Sheen wrote this. Yes, it's done to get the most amount of attention in the context of an interview with the president to bring people into it, to read it, to see, to make it interesting to read, than to then read all the facts and links that are in it. So, yes, the mainstream media calling. Yes, you can call Charlie Sheen's publicist. This is real. Charlie Sheen wrote this. Okay, let's go ahead now and go to a little bit of montages of the interview I did with Charlie Sheen and some of the CNN clips. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Plus, a Charlie Sheen shocker. Tonight, the actor's stunning statements on 9/11. Maybe the airplanes did not take down the Twin Towers. And maybe the government is covering it all up.
Taking over 4 commercial airliners and hitting 75% of their targets, that feels like a conspiracy theory.
Showbiz Tonight investigates the startling allegations.
Of course, you remember where you were on September 11th.
Oh, absolutely, AJ. I was at work at CNN in Atlanta, and I remember being in complete and utter shock and dismay.
Yeah, I was working as well here in New York City, and like most people, just thinking this is absolutely unbelievable. Well, there's another thing that you may not believe about September 11th and what someone is saying. Charlie Sheen, star of CBS's successful sitcom 2.5 Men, says point blank, 9/11, the Pentagon, the World Trade Center, all a cover-up. Is this for real? Well, Showbiz Tonight has the tape that has people asking, what's the truth?
The more you look at stuff, especially specific incidents, specific events in or around the fateful day, it just raises a lot of questions.
Charlie Sheen has his own questions about 9/11, and Showbiz Tonight has obtained the explosive interview from the radio show of fringe journalist Alex Jones. Sheen normally gets laughs as the Bachelor on the hit CBS sitcom 2.5 Men.
Wow. You're even better than a dog.
But now, Sheen is courting controversy by questioning the official story on 9/11.
We're not the conspiracy theorists on this particular issue, It seems to me like, 19 amateurs with box cutters taking over 4 commercial airliners and hitting 75% of their targets. That feels like a conspiracy theory.
So what exactly are Sheen's questions about 9/11? For one, Sheen is questioning the official story of what caused the World Trade Center collapse, that the impact of the 2 planes caused fires that weakened the building's support columns. In the interview, Sheen says he wondered if the buildings could have been brought down by a deliberate, yes, deliberate implosion.
I saw the South Tower hit live. That famous wide shot where it disappears behind the building, and then we see the tremendous fireball. And it was just there was a feeling that it just didn't look how do I say this? Didn't look like any commercial jetliner I've flown on any time in my life. And then when the buildings came down, later on that day, I was with my brother, and I said, hey, call me insane, but did it sort of look like those buildings came down in a controlled demolition?
Sheen is also questioning how a commercial airliner could have hit the Pentagon.
Show us this incredible maneuvering. Just show it to us. Just show us, how this particular plane pulled off these maneuvers. What was it, a 270-degree turn at 500 miles an hour, descending 7,000 feet in 2.5 minutes, skimming across the treetops, the last 500 meters, 4 feet off the ground.
Sheen also jumped on a favorite target of 9/11 conspiracy theorists, President Bush. Sheen questions why the president, after an aide told him about the attacks, continued with his Florida school appearance.
It would seem to me that upon the revelation of that news, that the Secret Service would grab the president and remove him as if he were on fire from that room.
Ever since that horrible day, conspiracy theories about the attacks have spread far and wide through the internet. As writer Webster Tarpley tells Showbiz Tonight, Sheen is not alone in his opinions.
There was a Zogby poll that was carried out last August, actually August of 2004 by now, which showed that about 50% of the people in New York City believed that top government officials had knowledge in advance of what was going to happen.
Still, it's safe to say that most experts and most Americans place the blame for 9/11 only on Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, not the U.S. government. Even Sheen knows his comments may not go over well with many people.
And I'm sure I'm being demonized across the nation by, all of the people that do that sort of thing.
Happy almost Easter.
Hey, back at you. Thank you.
You had some interesting comments. You were on a radio show and you talked about 9/11, and you have is it a theory or you just don't believe the government account of what happened on 9/11?
I just had questions.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions, and the forum I chose to voice those questions in is the Alex Jones radio show, and just because he's a guy that I've been a fan of and followed for a lot of years, and I got attacked. I mean, there were a lot of hit pieces. The reaction was
people get very mad when celebrities have opinions.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. I know he's not qualified. He doesn't. He's just who the hell is he to have an opinion about something so horrible? And it was sad because they didn't really take a look at any of the stuff I was asking them to look at, any of the evidence or any of the stuff that generated those questions. And they said, oh, he's another tinfoil hat wearing Hollywood clown. And it's like the only. I felt that the only real validation I needed was just being a tax-paying American that loves my country.
Yeah, and it's just something that you wonder about, and you would like to know more about. Sure. I assume. And do you did you study the tapes?
I've done a lot of research, and it's not just me; it's the people that have come before me, the experts and the engineers and the physicists and the scientists and the scholars that raised a lot of these things, and I took a look at their research and said, yeah, it doesn't add up. A lot of it doesn't add up. Hence these questions, And there's two areas. There's Building 7, and there's the 5 frames from the Pentagon. Don't listen to me. Do your own research. But I think that what happened to a time in this country when we were entitled, when we had a constitutional and a God-given right to be curious about things that didn't make sense. That's all it was.
We have a lot of
All right, folks, we are back live, and I'm going to get into 20 minutes with the president. But first, I want to hit this. Bank of the World, open announcement into the dollar as the central banks actually try to drive the dollar down. Gold going up to $1,000 announced today. A lot of other important news and information. We are live. It is Tuesday, September 8th, 2009. I'm Alex Jones, and you can read 20 minutes with the president at Infowars.com.